Hey, this is Dan
And Tom
from SpyMovieNavigator.com and our podcast show, Cracking the Code of Spy Movies. We just held a live James Bond meetup night at Ma O'Brien's Irish Pub on the northwest side of Chicago on May 9th. We had a great group of people, and we ran our trivia game live from the bar and all over the world. And though it was 7 p.m. in Chicago, we had players from Croatia, the UK, and Canada playing, along with many others from the US, and plenty of Bond fans in the bar were playing as well. Fun, fun, fun. It was the first time we did a remote broadcast, and it went well. Thanks to all. We appreciate it.
Now, the in-person attendees played, and we chatted with several of them on a live Facebook stream.
Hey, we're just talking about Bond.
We're talking about James Bond here. And guess who's here? Say your name.
Your name?
We're still here.
Martinis.
All right, we're having
Cut this man off.
martini.
Cut this man off.
We're having
No more.
martini. Here we are. Talking to Ross Scharphorn,
That's correct.
which he came in second tonight in the trivia contest. But in
William,
the past,
I'm going to be looking for you, man.
the past
I'm
is
locked
coming
and loaded.
number one in the past. All right, so we're drinking just for martini.
Yes.
We're streaming live on Facebook, and we're going to talk about Bond, James Bond. You've heard of him, so and he was one of the winners tonight. Oh, look at that 007 pin.
Yes.
Oh
And
man,
I got stickers, man.
yeah, we got stickers.
And there's another quiz for you guys. What are all these symbols from?
Yeah, there you go. Ooh, that's a good one.
If you can name that, then you too are a winner tonight. All right.
All right.
Let's go. Let's
So-
go, Dan.
So all of a sudden, here we're talking about Bond. We're going to talk about your favorite Bond. You know, we
Yes.
talked about a lot of stuff tonight with all these people. We got a couple of people here from the Ian Fleming Foundation, which is fantastic. They're the ones who find and restore and collect James Bond vehicles from the movies. The James Bond exhibit at the Museum of Science and Industry has 13 vehicles there. 12 of them are from the Ian Fleming Foundation.
Wow.
They're here tonight as well. So we're talking about all kinds of Bond stuff tonight. And we're going to talk here and say, what your favorite Bond, of all the Bonds, what's your favorite, who's your favorite?
100% Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
100%.
Who was the first Bond you saw in the movie theater?
Pierce Brosnan.
Ah,
I know. It goes big for everyone, right? Like, that seriously.
that's why
is
we
like-
want to ask.
Exactly. That's the litmus test
All right.
of who's going to be your favorite Bond is when you're like a 13-year-old kid, right? Like, what's the first
Yeah.
Bond movie thought? So I was telling these guys from the Ian Fleming Foundation about my story about it, is that I was super into Batman. Like,
Yeah.
I was 110% involved in Batman when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, like, all the Tim Burtons come on with it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I watched
yeah.
Batman Forever.
Great stuff.
Still on board.
Okay.
But then I go to see Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And it almost like shattered me.
Ooh.
I remember going like, and I turned to my buddy Mikey, my best friend Mike. I go, Mikey, I think you just killed that because this is worse than the TV show.
Yeah.
And so I'm like searching for another
You
hero.
know, I hate when they kill superheroes.
I know, right?
And, you know, with Bond, you know, he was kind of a superhero in a lot of ways. And some people say No Time to Die. They didn't like the end, the last ending of that.
That was bold.
It was bold. It was bold.
Yeah, but it was different.
Everybody knows what happened, right? But
I think we all had a collective sigh of like, in the beginning of the movie when Daniel Craig looks over at
yeah.
his dad, he says, "We have all the time in the world." You go, "Don't say that
Yeah,
line.
don't say that line.
Some shit's gonna go down when you say
Because
that
we
line."
know you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my point being about the Batman thing is that I was searching for another hero. In 1997, I go and see Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
And it blew my little mind. And then I look back at GoldenEye, and I appreciate it even more. And then I look back at all the originals, and I was just mainlining Bond for the rest of it. That was
There you
it.
go.
That was it.
GoldenEye was
Wait
a
a minute.
fantastic movie.
You bet.
Tomorrow Never Dies, the original name was Tomorrow Never Lies, but they didn't think people were going to understand that.
Right.
And it made sense because Somewhere in Never Lies because he's writing the headline the day before. Right. And so it wouldn't like because he's making it up. Yeah. But they changed the name. Yeah. But I like the Pierce Brosnan movies. I think GoldenEye was fantastic. I think he suffered from screenwriting.
True.
Right? The last three were not fantastic movies, but Brosnan in them was fantastic.
Absolutely. Always correct it. Always brought it.
Talked with Chris Corval, who was the special effects guy for many of the Bond movies, including some of the Brosnan movies and so on. The tank chase, yes. Right?
Yes.
And we were asking Chris about that, and he said, well, they wanted to do a car chase.
Right.
And so they said, Chris, what do we do to up the car chase thing? He said, get rid of it. And it's like, what do you mean? To get rid of it, do a tank chase. They're doing this in a military complex. Have them steal the tank.
Hello.
And they go, right? Okay. So it was Chris Corval who came up.
And shout out to Gary Powell, who drove that tank like a champ, jumped it through the wall. Also the guy that did the spiral jump in the boat in The World Is Not Enough.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
I don't know how he walks around with brass balls that big, but he's the man.
Yeah.
But not enough is said about Chris Corval. Chris Corval not only doing the Bond films, doing like every Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
The dude is cute. He's a real life cute.
He did everything you can imagine, every freaking movie you can imagine.
Yeah.
Batman, Star Wars, this one movie, every damn movie.
Yep.
He is a genius in special effects.
Genius.
He won an Academy Award for Inception.
Yeah.
With special effects.
Well, and I mean, think about the Batman.
We got to talk to him at the Bond. Yeah, we were in person with him at the Bond exhibit in the museum. And he was there. Fantastic, cool guy, the best guy. No attitude, no ego, nothing. He's like, all the guys who surround me make me look good and so on. Fantastic guy. We have an interview with him on our podcast episode. You got to listen to that one. Since Chris Corval is fantastic, so you got to listen to him.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, we're having a good time here at Mile Bryan on the northwest side of Chicago. The next time we do this, you have to be here. So where are you?
Get the swag, bring it.
Get the swag, bring it. We gave away some fun stuff tonight just for the fun of it. And we're drinking Vesper Martinis, which are fantastic. Now, I have to admit, for about a week we had to test them here. Make sure.
Did you really need a week, or did they just...
We needed a week.
Dan, you should really go.
To make sure that they were up to speed. And they're good. So hats off to Josh and Madison and Elion, the bartender, who have been doing a fantastic job all night, serving everybody and doing a good job. So fantastic stuff there. So we appreciate that. Hey, this has been fun. Number 2 tonight. Number 1 another.
I'll be looking for you. I'll be locked and loaded and looking for you, William.
All right. Time. This is fantastic. Brandon, you want to come in?
All right, come on up. All right.
Oh, we got Brandon here. Thanks, Ross. Good to see you, man. All right, we got Brandon here. And, of course, I'm Dan from SpyMovieNavigator.com. I'm on our show, Cracking the Code of Spy Movies. Subscribe to our show right now. Go ahead, we'll wait. To your favorite podcast app. There you go. Brandon's going to tell us about what he loves about the Bond movies and which era of the Bond movies he loves.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say I appreciate you guys hosting this. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Not something that you see every day, definitely. And, with everything going on in my personal thing, like the way that I was growing up, this kind of relates to me. So my childhood was different than most people. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, and my father raised me, played with Bob Seger and things like that. So I grew up inheriting the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. So everything, from James Bond was pivotal. Even going beyond that was, Humphrey Bogart, Sierra Madres, and
fantastic movie.
And
Casablanca, come on.
Yeah. Well, I never actually got into that one.
Oh, man.
Sierra Madres and Birds of Prey was another big one, and then evolved into James Bond films, and everything up from Sean Connery, and then slightly tapering off with the Tim stuff was also my kind of forte. And then after that, everything kind of went down. Pierce Brosnan was good, but it wasn't something that I and this is just personally to me, it wasn't something that never really appealed to me.
You didn't click in the plot.
No,
Yes, Bond.
the storyline and the acting of the early Bond films really related to me. I don't know why it was. It hooked me in. It was something different.
Yeah.
And then with Daniel Craig coming in, it was definitely interesting. It hooked me in, but it didn't dive me in. Like, I could easily go and rewatch any of the films of Sean Connery, Timothy Dalton, any of the stuff.
Okay.
In between that, just found like it was just a different genre of film. The acting was different. Everything that was portrayed, the storyline I felt was a little bit different than anything that from Pierce Brosnan there on board was different.
Yeah.
And in the later films, I felt like it was a bit too more graphically edited, if you will, whereas it was actual acting in the previous films.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the times the screenplay writing especially for Pierce Brosnan, I think GoldenEye was a good movie, but then the other ones, I think Brosnan himself suffered from the writing as opposed to his acting. And I thought he was kind of a pretty smooth Bond. I think he's one of the coolest ex-Bonds that there've been.
I would agree with that.
Sean Connery, that era is fantastic.
A lot of the Sean Connerys were the pivotal ones that I remember the most.
Yeah.
The ones that it stuck with me that I can watch over and over and time again. And I agree with you. Like, the James Bond, the GoldenEye was the pivotal one. For my generation, it was really pivotal because the Nintendo 64 game came out.
Yeah.
And that's really what made James Bond. It reinvigorated it and re-put it on the map.
It's amazing.
And there isn't a 16-year-old from the 80s that didn't know the James Bond game. And even still to this day, I think that people still reinvest in the N64 game just to buy GoldenEye the game and play it because it was so... It was changing everything.
I mean, here's the thing. GoldenEye, I can't remember off the top of my head how much it grossed box office numbers, but the game grossed about $250 million.
Yeah, I think the game grossed more than the actual film.
It may have. So, I mean, I was always amazed, like, why didn't they do more? More games. It's like, you're making plenty of money with them. Why do more games? But, whatever. Here we are sitting in a bar. What do we know? But,
well, I can actually tell you that I actually played the game before I saw the movie, and that's when I got hooked in it.
And Michael, listen to this shit.
Yeah.
All right? So, and if you have any advice of Barbara and Michael, Barbara Broccoli, of course, and Michael T. Wilson, who are going to select the next Bond after they killed off the last Bond and the only Bond because Bond is dead. What would you have any advice for them?
It's got to be somebody who's not known. I'll be honest with you.
Not known.
Like,
okay.
I like the idea when they brought in Daniel Craig, who was a lesser known actor, and they brought him in. Something to develop, something new, had an intriguing factor about it, something that was like,
yeah,
what is this guy?
Yeah, but that was it.
Absolutely. So I think they keep with that and don't kind of announce it, make it a surprise. I mean, that's one of the biggest things about Bond is, and the enthusiast about Bond is we're always waiting for the next big thing. What's the next big surprise? Unknown for us.
Yeah.
So keep us in the loop, but don't keep us in the loop at the same time.
Yeah. And I think, Ian Rush is very good at keeping it a secret. When they announced Daniel Craig, nobody knew Daniel Craig. Everyone's guessing, and here we have here's 18 people on the list. I think you and I are the only ones not on the list for Bond. Maybe you are.
No, I'm definitely not. No, I don't want to be on the list.
But anyway, all right, pick somebody cool. Pick something. What are you going to do with them? I don't know what you're going to do with them. You're going back to the past because he's dead. Now you got to go, his future is his past. So now you got to go backwards. Or ignore it. Pay no attention to that man behind the screen.
I was just going to say that. That's funny. You took the words right out of my mouth. Hey, I got nothing on my sleeve, but hey, I got a few more tricks. Rocky will pull them.
That's fantastic.
But I think that the key thing is always be surprised. Always go to, and I hate to say this, but go in.
Yeah. Well, they are.
Develop something new. Always
I think Goldeneye was the first one they did that with.
Yes.
Goldeneye was, I think, the first one that had nothing to do with any Fleming stuff.
Correct. It was.
Right.
And that was a trademark. That was a turnstone of the whole series.
Yeah.
I feel like, because not only was the storyline completely different, and it developed a whole other culture, like the gameplay and everything.
Yeah.
Still, what is it? 2024. That's almost 20 years later. It's still going, and it's still popular. Like,
And it's still good.
yeah.
All right. They should take a hint from that.
Well,
And
they're the experts. We're not.
yeah.
We're
We're not the experts, but you should listen to us.
yeah. Take our
Because we come from the perspective of real people who love
Absolutely.
spy movies and Bond in particular. So there you go, Barbara and Michael. If you want to give us a call, Brandon, me, you can give us a call.
You
We'll
can
talk.
always reach me out. Find me
we'll
on
talk to you.
Facebook. I'll definitely give you some fun.
We'll find time
Yeah,
to talk, right? So
absolutely.
that's good. All right, that's great.
I just want to say I appreciate you guys having us here. I appreciate you guys hosting the event. It was absolutely awesome. My first event, I would definitely come back for more, and I encourage the rest of you guys to come back and do it again. If you haven't been here, you definitely need to.
Next time you have to be here. All right, Brandon, thanks, man. We got Scott Winterroth here. Good guy. We've been around for a long time. We did a podcast with Scott a couple of years ago.
During COVID, yep.
Yeah, during COVID, when we covered 8 Bond movie with 4 guys all together, and Scott was one of them. And we had a fun time talking about Bond stuff. So let's talk about some Bond stuff now. Which is your favorite Bond? What is the era you love the best? You got any advice for Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson? You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you have to ask what's your favorite. So it depends when you ask, right? I think I always change my answer, but I guess I have to go with like Pierce Brosnan because like I'm a millennial, so I grew up with Pierce Brosnan. You know, the Goldeneye and all those movies are definitely
Yeah, we were just talking to Brandon, and he was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Pierce was his favorite.
Yeah, so, and then, but my father, who brought me in to watch James Bond, was a Roger Moore fan, so we watched a lot of Roger Moore movies over the years, so Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan are more my
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the old ones? What do you think of Sean Connery? You've seen them all, right? You've seen all the movies.
I have, yeah.
And
some more than others.
From
yeah.
Russia with Love, Dr. No, Goldfinger, what do you think?
So Goldfinger's my favorite Connery movie.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love watching them. I tend to gravitate more towards the later ones.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but definitely always game to watch any of them, honestly. So,
Yeah. So are there some that you hate?
I have a kind of funny story. So I used to hate I'm drawing a blank. You got me nervous here, like lights and everything.
We got lights. We got all kinds of things.
I know.
But the important thing is we got Vesper Martini.
Yeah, the one in Louisiana.
Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the best theme songs. I used to hate that movie,
Yeah,
the storyline, and then. But then as I got older and watched it a few more times, I actually like it a lot more. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie, Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
And it doesn't age well in terms of,
Yeah, lots of things, yeah.
you know, whatever. But New Orleans, I love the pre-title sequence in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's one of the best pre-title sequences there is. It's fantastic.
Yeah?
You gotta love it. We have a podcast out on that episode, on that too, and you gotta check that out because that's a great episode. So you like Live and Let Die?
Yeah, one of my favorite...
Roger Moore's first outing.
Roger Moore, The Spy Who Loved Me has become my favorite Roger Moore film. It used to be Octopussy, but now that I'm older, I don't know. I don't like that one as much.
Yeah, The Spy Who Loved Me.
The Spy Who Loved Me. Agent XXX is obviously one of my... Barbara Bach. Shout out to Barbara Bach. Yeah, but
Barbara Bach is fantastic.
Yeah.
Ringo Starr's lucky.
Exactly.
Still, The Spy Who Loved Me, I think it's one of Roger Moore's 3 best movies. I love For Your Eyes Only, The Spy Who Loved Me, and Live and Let Die. Those are his 3 best outings as Bond.
I think he said that was his best movie. His favorite movie, too.
Which one?
Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, he loved The Spy Who Loved Me. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
And Jaws, and people love Jaws.
Yeah.
And the teeth and all that. The teeth are on display, by the way, at the Museum of Science and Industry 007 Science Inventing the World of James Bond exhibit that's going on through October 2024. You got to go see that. It's fantastic.
And the Lotus is there too.
Yes, we have one of the Lotuses there.
Yeah.
They have 13 James Bond vehicles there, and 12 of them came from the Ian Fleming Foundation. 2 of the guys are here tonight with us. Great guys.
Yeah, very nice guys.
Yeah, they're terrific. License to Kill is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
One of my all-time favorite Bond movies. We interviewed Robert Davi.
Yep.
That was a great interview. The guy was tremendous.
Yeah, I was very impressed with that interview. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for saying that. He was so nice to talk to. He's a down-to-earth guy, and he was telling stories after stories after stories, and all the backstories. Just fascinating to listen to. But that's a great movie.
I love the interview you did with I can't remember his name, but it was For Your Eyes Only, I believe. He was the villain.
Oh, Julian Glover.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What a gentleman.
Yeah.
Julian Glover, he's been in the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He was the evil guy there, Donovan. He's been in For Your Eyes Only. He was the bad guy there, Kratos. And he's been in Star Wars. He's been in all kinds of movies. He's a fantastic guy. And what a gentleman. We first thought he's like 84 years old. And when we talked to him, and in the beginning, he said, "How long is it going to take?" I said, "About an hour." He said, "Oh, wow. At 84, that's a long time." And he spent an hour and a half with us.
Yeah.
He was such a great guy.
That was a fantastic interview.
I love Julian
I think
Glover.
you gave me a shout out on that one too, so I appreciate it. I asked the question.
Yeah, Julian, you're a good guy. You're all right. And yeah, he was fun. We've talked to some fun people over the times. And so what about
Future?
Yeah. What about that?
So I have an idea for the future. I think it's funny you asked. Yeah, no. I actually would love to get the community together, maybe through Spy Movie Navigator. I'd like to do a spin-off that's just like a Q spin-off of this. You know, like I feel like there's so many ways you could do a Q series that would be related, but not.
Okay.
And,
a Q series.
yeah, like you
Okay.
know, like the gadgets and everything are, I think, a huge portion of the movie, and I think that could be its own plot, its own storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, I might try to write something someday. We'll see.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
Wow.
and not that I'm not much of a fiction writer. But,
All right, if you got a Q idea, we'll do a podcast with you.
Yeah.
A Q idea. you
Yeah.
know. I love Q.
Yeah.
I mean, Desmond Llewellyn.
So,
Every time Desmond Llewellyn was in a scene, I smiled. I just like, I love this guy. Every time he appeared on screen, I was like,
yep.
a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
He was so freaking fantastic.
Yep.
Better than any other Q. I mean, I like the new guy, young guy with
Yeah.
and he's a good guy. But Desmond was like that. But I would love to do a Q thing. That was good.
That, and I think someone mentioned recently, like doing period movies where they would keep Bond in like 1970s or 1980s,
Yeah.
1990s. And I think that actually is not a bad idea because I feel like that it would work in a lot of ways.
And you know what? Really, because of what they did in No Time to Die, Bond's future almost has to be his past.
Yep.
Because they did what they did.
Yeah.
Now they could say ignore that, and just ignore us.
Yeah.
We were stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they could do that. Or they could go, okay, we're going to do this in the 60s, we're going to do this in the 70s. I'd be okay with that. Mm-hmm. But we know the end game, which bothers me.
I think that they did the way they did it was okay in some ways, and I do like the fact that they had quantum, like from Casino Royale for the entire like lifespan.
Yeah.
And Bond aged with the actual actor, which I think was kind of cool. But I think also like how many movies have they done now where Bond is too old or Bond is too right. It's like so I think that actually called for it to be a period thing, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
it is a 1990s Bond again or whatever, you know. But I think that could be cool. And I think there's plenty of stories yet to be told. They just need to get creative, and they need to bring it out more frequently because we have too many long spells of no Bond movies, and that's where things die off.
And we've had Purvis and Wade write about the last 7 movies or more, 11. I don't know how many. It's a lot. And maybe it's time for new writer.
Yeah.
Come up with something fresh, something new, something fun. So this is good. All right. Any other spy movies you like?
First of all, thank you for sharing the movie that Pierce Brosnan did before he was Bond. I can't think of the name of it right now, but
The Fourth Protocol?
yes.
Oh,
I never knew that existed until I listened to Spy Movie Navigator. Now I know it exists. I don't know if I should thank you or not, actually, but I did watch it, so yeah.
Well, it's a good movie. And actually, I thought for me it was like his screen test for Bond.
Yeah, probably.
Even though he was a Russian spy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But he was so damn good at it. And he was. So you can see why they wanted him as Bond.
Yeah.
And I, again, I think he was good. It was a good Bond. He just suffers from some of the screenwriting. But fantastic stuff.
And just technology at the time, too, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. The CGI stuff was bad.
Yeah.
That, they should have...
They got a little Die Another Day came out when I was in high school, right? So that was like the first one I saw in a movie theater. So I have some nostalgia to that one just because that was the first one I saw in the actual theater. But, But looking back, it definitely was not one of the best ones.
Not one of the best. No. Definitely not one of the best. All right, man. This has been fun.
Yes, thank you so much.
You got to come down to my O'Brien's. Next time we do this, you got to come down here. It's been fun. God, thanks, Ben.
Thank you. Yep.
All right.
Thanks, everyone. Keep listening. Yep.
Thank you. All right, we're going to get a couple of guys now from the Ian Fleming Foundation who seek out and look for Bond used vehicles in movies. They get the stuff from movies, actual stuff that used in the movie, restore it and loan it out for exhibitions. Introduce yourself, guys.
Go ahead, Len. Hello, I am Leonard Johnson with the Ian Fleming Foundation, and we're here at a great venue participating in an evening with Dan and Tom. I'm part of the Ian Fleming Foundation, and I help the foundation restore and maintain all the Bond vehicles that we have, which is about 43 now at this time.
Fantastic. Chris, go ahead.
My name is Chris McGregor. I'm also part of the Ian Fleming Foundation. I am their cook. I make sure that they don't go hungry. I also do a lot of design work for them, recreating logos from James Bond vehicles, all kinds of things. If there is a company that's gone out of business and they need their logo done, they come to me.
Yeah. All right. Now, you worked on the Tuck Tuck, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So these guys have 43 James Bond vehicles, movie-used vehicles, that have been in a James Bond movie, and they're fantastic. Now, the Museum of Science and Industry has 13 vehicles there. 12 of them are from these guys. So that's how good they are. And we were at one of their work weekends a year ago now, and the work they do is absolutely astonishing. It's fantastic. And it allows us, the normal people in the world, to go to these exhibits and see these fantastic vehicles. And so why don't you guys tell us a little bit about what you do to find these vehicles and to restore these vehicles, and the heck of the work you guys do, because it's meticulous. It's fantastic. It's astonishing.
Yeah. I will start. So one of the projects that we recently worked on, we got the Tuk Tuk that Jay and Bond have in Octopussy. We managed to find the original vehicle. We purchased it. We had it delivered to our secret location and started to restore it.
Yep.
And part of that process is literally going through frame by frame in the movie and watching every single frame to capture those details. So when we restore a vehicle, if it got shot up with guns, we want the bullet holes on our vehicle to exactly match where the bullet holes were in the movie. One of the projects that I had to work on was to recreate the decals on the tuk-tuk, and from blurry, grainy video freeze frames, which was quite a challenge. But the way that vehicles come to us is there's many different ways. Some of the vehicles we have had donated from Eon Productions. Some of the vehicles we get from different like companies. For example, the excavator that was used in Skyfall.
Yes.
That excavator actually went to Caterpillar's headquarters in Peoria, Illinois, and it sat there for quite some time.
That's fantastic.
I had been doing work with Caterpillar and had inquired about that vehicle in the interest of Ian Fleming Foundation. Another person who volunteers with the Fleming Foundation, a guy named Alan Porter, had also inquired with Caterpillar. But then one of the folks on the board of the Ian Fleming Foundation got the cell phone number of the CEO of CAT, called him up, and that's how we got that Caterpillar. So there are many different ways that we get the vehicles. Sometimes they're donated, sometimes they're purchased. But we do want to make sure that the vehicles that we collect are the actual vehicles that were used in the movies.
And now Doug Rodinius, who runs a lot of the stuff that's going on there, he's like
He's a master.
He's a savant.
Yeah.
What was in the movie and what was not. I remember him telling us, some people were saying, I got this vehicle that was in. He's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
He's good at that.
He does. Doug is dedicated to establishing the provenance of everything
Yes.
in our collection, and does an amazing job of advocating for people to let us take care of the vehicles. There's, for example, Caterpillar, that they were about to recondition that excavator and sell it again. And we got in touch with them just in time to be able to get that. And so now it's part of our collection, and we restored it to look like it did in the movie, including putting bullet holes in the windows to match the bullet holes in the movie.
I saw the vehicle in person. I sat where Daniel Craig sat in the control center, which of course the real controls are on the left.
Right. Yes.
Daniel Craig was controlling nothing with those.
Right.
Because I wasn't either.
He was acting.
Yeah, he was acting. Go figure for an actor.
Yeah.
And that is a fantastic vehicle. And it actually works because Doug, at the time when we were there, was lifting the Mustang from Diamonds Are Forever off the trolley because you guys are going to restore it something, I think, in California.
Yeah.
And
We also removed the engine out of the fire truck with the excavator as well.
Yeah. Right.
It's good fun to be when people say, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I'll say, "Well, I'm taking the excavator from Skyfall, and we're going to take the engine out of the fire truck from A View to a Kill."
Yeah.
And people are like, "Are you kidding me?" And no, that's literally a normal day at the Ian Fleming Foundation.
Yeah, Len was involved a lot with the restoration of the engine, the fire engine from A View to a Kill. Yeah. We have a video on our YouTube channel with Len talking about it, actually. But why don't you say a little bit about that? Because that's a beautiful vehicle.
Yeah. It was quite an experience, especially me being a retired firefighter. I had the honor of actually being able to do a lot of work on that fire truck. And when I first saw it being delivered, it was in really bad shape.
I bet.
Somebody took an axe to it in England, busted it up.
Wow.
And the driver lost a cab transport from New York on the way to Chicago. Luckily, he went and picked it all up. But Colin Clark and me, we rebuilt the cab to near mint condition, and then did a lot of other work. But I said, we've got to get parts. Where are we going to get them from? So I went to an auction and we bought another fire truck of the same model.
We did.
To scavenge the parts and recreate as original as we could what the fire truck looks like today, and it turned out really beautiful. The other
it is beautiful.
Yeah, the other nice vehicle that we currently have in the paint shop is the Lockheed Jetstar from Goldfinger.
Yes.
And we found that out in a boneyard, an aircraft boneyard outside of Kansas City, Missouri, a number of years ago. Somebody gave them a tip. Doug and Colin went out. They flew out to Kansas City, rented a car, drove out to the airport, checked everything out, and it all matched all the numbers on the data plate. So put a bid in for it, got the jet, hauled it back, got it, all the logbooks, found out that not only was it in the movie Goldfinger with Sean Connery and Honor Blackman, who was Pussy Galore as the pilot, but we found out in the logbook that Elvis Presley took a test flight on that aircraft, and Muhammad Ali flew on that plane when he flew out to the Philippines to fight Joe Frazier in the Thrilla Manila.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of history on that aircraft. But we've done a lot of work. It's been a major restoration, and we can't wait to get that back from the paint shop as an exterior, and then finish up the interior with the carpeting and put everything together. It'll be beautiful, and it's going to be provided apparently in whatever museum it goes to as a walkthrough where people can step up and walk through the passenger compartment,
Fantastic.
go to the cockpit, and then come out for a photo op out the side door.
Yeah. I remember last year when we looked at it when Steve was working on it, and he was saying like it took him 9 hours to run a wire because there were no schematics. You found it in a junkyard basically.
Yeah, we did.
There were no schematics.
No.
He's like, it took me 9 hours to run a wire from here to here to figure out how to.
Yeah, Steve's done a beautiful job bringing that thing back to life. Yeah, with all the instrument panels, lighting everything up.
Nobody in the world is doing that. Without you guys, I mean, you have 43 vehicles, right?
Yeah.
12 of them, of the 13 at the Museum of Science and Industry today, are from these guys.
Yeah.
Because of the work they do, and it's volunteer work, right?
Yeah, right. Yep.
And
you guys aren't for profit.
No.
You could donate to their organization so they could go find more vehicles so we can go see them, which you should do.
Yeah.
But
please support the Ian Fleming Foundation.
absolutely, IanFlemingFoundation.org, right?
Not only
there you go.
Not only are the 12 vehicles at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, but we also have a number of vehicles currently on display for the next year at the International Spy Museum in Washington, D.C.
Yep.
So that's another museum to check out. But that's what we do. We acquire them, we restore them, maintain them. They go to museums around the world. And we also, any money that we raise through the museums, it also goes to scholarships for students at the University of Illinois. So it's a lot of good causes.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I think most people, you go to an exhibit, and most people are looking at, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. They don't understand the work that has gone before them for you to find the vehicles in the first place, restore the vehicle in the second place, and then loan them out to exhibit so that we, the normal people in the world, can go see them.
And the
unbelievable
amount of work that goes into the restoration is insane as well, because we really do want to restore the vehicle as close as possible to how it looked in the movie. Sometimes when we get these vehicles, they have been repurposed, reconditioned, and sometimes they're in terrible shape. As a matter of fact, in our location, our secret location, it's the hollowed out volcano south of Chicago. We have a
could be South America, we don't know.
We have a Kenilworth semi from License to Kill.
Yes.
This Kenilworth semi was actually rescued from a company that trains EMTs in large equipment accidents. So this trailer, or this semi that had been used in License to Kill, had been sitting on its side for something like 15 years when we identified it and located it.
You have the cab.
We have the cab. It is going to be an immense restoration effort. We haven't started on it yet, but we are hoping to find some people who can work with us to fully restore that to its original shape.
Yeah, I saw it. It looked pretty beat up.
It does.
Pretty beat up. Yeah. It went through all the.
Yeah, it's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah. So this is the kind of work they do, and so then when you see it in a museum or you see it in an exhibit, you go, "Oh wow!" But these are the guys. These are the guys who do it.
I cook
so
for
that
them.
We can see it.
Come on. Army travels on its stomach,
You're the graphic expert for these guys. Come on.
It is a fantastic group of people, and it's a lot of fun. I bring my son along with me. My son has been going to the Ian Fleming Foundation and volunteering since he was 12. And one of his favorite stories to tell is that he got a certificate on his high school graduation diploma for volunteer hours. And many of his friends who graduated high school also got this certificate, but they had to do things like, go to a food kitchen or go and volunteer, like cleaning trash off the sides of the road. What did my son get his stamp on his diploma in high school for? He got it for rebuilding the engine on a 1959 Heller helicopter, the one that was used in From Russia with Love. So that was his high school seal from that work. But it's a great group of people, and we will watch James Bond films frame by frame to try and find out everything that we can about a vehicle to restore it.
Yeah. You should support this organization. It's a fantastic organization. It makes us, gives us the ability to go see these vehicles in all of these exhibits. So go to EonFlemingFoundation.org. You can donate there. You can help support these guys. They're not making money from this. It's all for us. This is all for us.
Yeah.
So help these guys out. EonFlemingFoundation.org, and they're fantastic guys. We know a bunch of them from this organization, and they're all just great people.
And it was just
The entire Eon Fleming Foundation is a fan organization started by fans, organized by fans. We all love the James Bond films. We will all get together and argue the most minute details in the James Bond films, but we are all big fans, and we are doing this to spread the love of James Bond films.
And we appreciate Dan and Tom, what they are doing and have done
Thank you.
for us, and they're always welcome to come out and join us for a work weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate this evening, and
This has
keep
been
up the
fun.
great work. Yeah.
We love you guys being here. We love you guys because you're fun. I'm going to come and see your collection.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh yeah, you
Mine's
should.
got some good stuff, some fun stuff that I'm gonna go see. So that's good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Chris,
for having us
Thank
out.
you very much. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you guys coming out, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in tonight. This has been a fun night for SpyMovieNavigator.com. Go to our show, Cracking the Code of Spy Movies. Subscribe to our show, and have a good time.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
You guys are great.
Thank you.
You guys are terrific.
Mash that like button.
Hey, that was a lot of fun, and it was a unique experience meeting up with Bond fans at that local pub. I mean, and to be able to broadcast it remotely, both the trivia game and the live interviews, that really made it special.
That was a blast. All right. Hey, thanks for taking a listen here. This has been Dan
And Tom,
of SpyMovieNavigator.com on our show, Cracking the Code of Spy Movies. Subscribe to our show in your favorite podcast app, and give us a good positive review as well. Tom and I appreciate you spending time with us. Thanks.